How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Said with the just middlest meh.
I'm angry at gaming still, but for completely different reasons today.
You're angry at what? You said gaming?
Yeah, for completely different reasons today.
Zach, this is the happy episode. You're not allowed to be angry this episode.
I don't know, because there's plenty of stuff in fan interaction that I'm gonna bitch about, and then plenty of stuff in my odds and ends that I'm gonna bitch about. So, like, we've picked happy topics, but, like, it's still surrounded, flanked on all sides by garbage.
No, see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of this. This episode, you have to ignore all the bullshit.
I don't.
Like,
I don't
the
think we
odds and
can.
ends that I picked out are strictly positive. I ignored negative ones.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
I could not. I was getting them directly messaged to me via the podcast thread on Discord, and I just like I have to mention them. I can't. I literally have to mention them because they were messaged to me, and it's part of fan interaction. like
Aw.
like I have to. There's no way around it because fan interaction is sacrosanct.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and you have, for whatever reason, decided to tune into another horrible gaming podcast. I am not alone, nor am I ever. With me is...
Neil, aka Tiny Wizard.
And we got a couple of credits before we get into what's going to be a very bipolar show, to say the least.
No, only happy.
It can't only be positive. There are fan interactions that are negative. I have to
Only
read
happy.
them. We have to talk about them. There's no way.
Happiness.
Fan interaction is sacrosanct. Okay, so credits before we get into that fighting. Number one, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are noticing fancy graphics behind those fancy timestamps, and any of those that are custom made or made by Mr. Mark Bell, we thank him for that. And of course, the music for this show and all the shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, and that is Nick Van Sliders, and we thank him for that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Alright, that brings us to our first segment, and that is fan interaction. Now, before we get into the big bulk of fan interaction, I want to talk to you guys, because this is probably going to be a bigger fan interaction, because we're only going to really do one talking point, kind of, and we'll get into that in a second. But, number one, I have a huge disclaimer, and that is, we have been having problems scheduling when we record the podcast, but we want to keep releasing the podcast on the same dates that we are releasing it. That being said, the only real time that we've been able to do this lately is Thursdays, and of course, that's what, one day after we post the YouTube show, 2 days after we post the audio show. So there's going to be comments that come in after the fact. I am going to do everything in my power to read those comments on the show. Seriously. And if I miss it, please, I'm very sorry. It's just, we don't have a way to schedule this better, so this is just the way it's got to be. Don't be afraid to post the comments, though. I'm still looking. I'm still making notes for myself to make the comments. I've already got some notes out here because Phil wanted to comment and missed his chance, so he told me a couple of things. And then William Howlin is back, but he was on the last podcast, so I want to read that out. So we got a big fan interaction this week, but still comment. It's just know our recording schedule is 9:30 on Thursdays right now, and we're trying to get back to Sundays, but right now it's just not feasible. So it is what it is, but we will do everything in our power to continue to read these comments. Okay? Okay? So,
Okay.
with that said, I'm going to go back to a comment we missed. Not really missed, it just got posted after we recorded from William Hohen. And now, where is it? There it is. Okay. Hi, I'm not dead. Catching up on 2-3 podcasts I miss. Parentheses, I was on vacation and didn't watch a lot of YouTube videos. By the way, that issue Neil got with his PC is kind of huge. Is the kind of things that make me hate gaming on a PC. First of all, thank you so much for your comment, William. Sorry I missed it. Again, the reason I missed it is our schedule. Your comment came in on Monday, so that's why it just wasn't up. It's up now. I hope we didn't lose you because of that one little lag point. And take a vacation, man. You don't have to watch us all the time. We're here for your entertainment. You miss a couple episodes, it's fine. It's no big deal. We're not good at this anyway. It's called a horrible podcast. Nobody's going to blame you if you don't listen to a horrible gaming podcast. But thank you for the comment, man. Thank you for the comment. And I do love PC gaming, but I will say there are certain times, even with me and my new PC, where I'm like, do I not have an update up? Did I have the update up? How did I have the update up? There's some confusing parts to it. I'm not going to lie. I get it. Now I'm going to go switch over to Discord because Kevin posted a couple of things in the old Discord that I definitely wanted to mention. Number one, Sony chopped the heatsink in the PS5 by a lot. So the new PS5, so they're making newer PS5s, like upgraded PS5s, and they actually cut out a bunch of heat sinking, which may make it overheat a little bit faster and make it slow down a little bit. What do you think about that?
So yeah, that could happen, but that also said, just because the heat output is higher doesn't necessarily always mean that it's running hotter. It could be a stronger fan that is pushing more heat out.
That is true. However, that of course then makes it harder to put it in. It adds to the problem that the PS5 already had, which is it is a weird, large, unruly motherfucker that you can't put anywhere. So now you can't put it in an enclosed place because it pumps a ton of heat out. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I don't think this is a positive thing. It might be, but I don't think it's a positive thing.
I mean, if it's something that is going to help them get more consoles out to people, then I think it's a good thing. Why exactly they changed the heatsink, we don't know, but I mean, it makes it a little bit lighter.
I don't know. About it. I'd feel a little ripped off. I'm not going to lie. If like they were cutting corners to get more out for the same price, I feel like that's a little bit of a ripoff. I mean, I don't know what this is going to do in the wild. I really don't. But like, if this is like, if you're telling me my $500 system that I bought, or $600 system, or whatever I bought, has stuff removed from it so it could be sold to me for the same price as Jimmy's $600 system, then that would bug me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
mean, who knows what's going to happen, but
yeah. That also said, I don't think anybody who is trying to find a PS5 right now and who gets the one with the smaller heat sink on it would be upset and be like, "No, I don't want a PS5 because it's got the smaller heat sink."
I mean, if it overheats, he will. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, if it overheats. But again, like I said, it could be just more efficient with what it does.
We shall see. We shall see. Time will tell. I mean, I'm of course right now, just given everything that I'm experiencing right now, inclined to say that it's going to end negatively, but who knows?
This is the happy show.
Yeah, it is. Then you can hear the happiness oozing from my voice. Then Kev actually posted something positive that I'm kind of excited about. There is a rumor going around that Game Boy Classic and Game Boy Color games will be coming to Nintendo Switch Online as soon as this month. So it's kind of a rumor going around that anybody who has a Switch, you know that you can get the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo games. They have kind of like an arcade that they add to monthly. But we've been waiting for both a Nintendo 64 one and a Game Boy one to kind of come into play for a long time, I would say. And it sounds like it's finally happening, Neil. That sounds really cool for Game Boy stuff.
Yeah, it does. That was actually one of my odds and ends. So
Kevin posted it to the Discord thread. Both of those to the Discord thread. He actually used Discord. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rip your odds and ends out, but he posted
No,
it.
you're fine.
It wasn't me, it was Kevin.
You're fine. But
Secretary
yeah,
of
I hope
Defense.
I hope that's a thing. I really hope that's a thing.
Yeah, so do I. I think that would be really cool. And I think Nintendo needs more stuff like that, honestly. I think it could use it. I think it could really use it. Okay, so now let's jump into the actual comments on the last episode. Jason. Ultima Online had fishing, parentheses, has, question mark, is it still around? I think it is. That game is an enduring son of a bitch. But yeah, I think it is. And that would predate Warcraft. Definitely predate Warcraft for fishing. I then said, I'm not sure, but it definitely would have been first, just what I just said. And then Jason just wanted us to know it was his first MMO ever. Ultima Online. I think it was one of the first MMOs, honestly.
I have never even heard of it.
How have you never heard of Ultima Online? I think I might have to fire you. That was like a huge game that kind of reinvented how people did PC gaming.
Yeah, like I said, I avoid MMOs like a plague.
I know,
so...
but still, you know about games that happen. Like, it's a historical... Okay, not going to do
When
this
did it come
You're
out?
ridiculous. A long time
When did it
ago,
come out?
but you know when Mario... You know about Mario. You know about Sonic. Like, those were big games. Ultima Online was a big game.
I did not even know that you could play games on a computer until I was like 13. I am not exaggerating. Back in like, what was it, 99? Something like that, I want to say.
All right, so moving on. Before I get mad. Kev Too Tall. Nobody cares about us gamers, not even people who want our money. Oh, they care about us, Kev. They care about us giving us their money, but other than that, they don't care how they get it from us. That's for sure. That is for absolute sure. He then said, late night listen and posting with the Secretary of Defense. Nick's effort makes the show bearable to listen to. He better get his credit. I'm gonna assume that's the theme song. So you're saying that the theme song is the only thing that made last show bearable to listen to. That hurt.
That's why we're having a happy show this week.
Nick's effort makes the show bearable to listen to. Nick's effort makes it. It must be. He then said, "You sang it. I love you." I don't know what that meant. I'm not quite sure.
The Doom.
Oh, Doomy! Yeah, I did sing Doom. I forgot about that. I did. You're welcome, Kev. I love me some Invader Zim.
Did you watch that movie?
What movie?
The Invader Zim movie.
They had a movie?
Yeah, it was on Netflix. Enter the Florpus, I think it was called.
Oh, I gotta find that. I must have missed that.
Yeah, it was straight to Netflix.
I have not been watching a lot of Netflix because Netflix has not been offering me things that I want to watch. So I've been like watching other things lately. So that's probably how I missed it. I'm gonna have to check it out. Kev Tudor then said, by design, police should be good. Removing corruption in the police could be part of that good cop storyline. Also, don't give me that bad cop bullshit when you're a fanboy of RoboCop. Look, I like the movie RoboCop. All right, Kev? I do. But RoboCop does not actually exist. What exists in the world are the cops we have. Not my favorite. I don't want to get into that on this podcast, though. I have many controversial views, but I am not Joe Rogan. I don't want to go on the internet and tell everybody about them. So, I am not going to get into that. World of Warcraft wasn't the first MMO with fishing. They just finally figured out out the gamification of it, says Kev. So basically, they made it addictive. Got it. Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
This is his next comment. Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
You booked the Catalina wine mixer? Next up, things like the problems with Infinite, I believe, is what the speed bump into Rumble Strips comment was about. Gotcha, because we were confused by that. And the problems with Halo Infinite, yes, speed bump to a Rumble Strip, definitely.
And they have continued.
But again, I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Happy show!
I don't think it's a speed bump. A speed bump is somebody puts in a road to slow people down so that they don't hurt other people on the road. Rumble strips are something cops use to very peacefully stop dangerous car chases. I don't think anything 343 has done is in any way not self-serving. I don't think there's speed bumps or rumble strips in it at all. I don't think that's what it is at all.
You're thinking of spike strips.
What?
You're thinking of spike strips. Those are what they throw down.
Oh, rumble strips are the things on the side of the road that wake you up if you fall asleep?
There's those, or they have they've been putting them in in parking lots in some areas. I know down in Kentucky, the one Walmart had them in the parking lot because people thought it was a raceway.
Nice. Still, those things, as annoying as they are designed for the people. Nothing 343 does anything for the people other than their CEOs for money. I'm saying that. I'm doubling down on that. Don't buy Halo. It's bullshit. Next one. I will not be buying Halo Infinite, as much as it hurts me to say that. Do you hear this right now, Kev? Do you hear what I'm doing right now? I don't know if you can hear it. If you can hear it through the microphone, it's me giving you a heartfelt, meaningful clap. Dude, I'd hug you if you were in the same room. Seriously. And I'm gonna go one further. I'm gonna say this right now on the show, Neil, because I listened to the last podcast this week, and I don't feel like I made myself resolute enough. I don't feel like I took enough of a stance. So I'm gonna say this right now. I will not play anything Halo Infinite. I will not play the free-to-play multiplayer. I will not play the campaign. I will not play anything that they come out with. Nothing. I probably the last Halo game I ever play will be 4 for our show. That's it. I am done. I'm not playing that game. I'm boycotting the game. People, get behind me. Seriously. If you don't want to be treated like shit for the rest of your lives as gamers, get behind me. Don't play that. Say no. Moving on. I do want to say, though, if you do buy it and play it, I'm not going to judge anybody. All right? I want to say that. I just think that if you want to send a message that this kind of treatment is not okay, this is the way you do it. And then finally, Kev says, Halo has passed the point of being bad. Zach gets full points as of these last announcements about it coming out in 2022. Thank you, Kev. Thank you. I'm glad Kev agreed with me. I would have been much more upset if he had tried to counter my rant, but I appreciate the solidarity, Kev. I appreciate it. All right. Neil, you got anything to add to any of that?
I don't think so.
All right. So again, guys, I just want to say, still put your comments out there, put them up. We will get to them. If we don't get to them on the very next show, it's just because of the recording. Still put them up there. No, I almost forgot. I even wrote them down. Phil, I didn't forget you, buddy. I didn't forget you. I remember.
I think you actually technically just did.
No, because we're still in fan interaction. I didn't forget. Okay, so he wanted to comment a couple of weeks ago. We had talked about Call of Duty adding anti-cheat, and we had also talked about Outriders. So on the subject of Call of Duty anti-cheat, and unfortunately me and Phil had this conversation in person, which means that I'm going to paraphrase all wrong. Sorry, Phil, but at least I remembered. Basically, Tim the Tap Man and other very big Twitch streamers for Call of Duty have jumped to Valorant because of the rampant cheating in Call of Duty, which has forced their hand on the anti-cheat. That's the whole take on that, is that they're only doing anti-cheat because they're actually dropping down the Twitch trending charts so heavily because so many of their people are moving off of it because they can't deal with the cheaters anymore.
I just can't imagine like cheating in an online game for any reason. Just
it's dumb, right? It's dumb.
The extra
what
effort you have to go
that?
through, especially people who like have lag switches and shit like that.
Right.
Like you went and you bought something. You bought a thing with real money to win the fake thing.
The fake thing. You don't get money for this. No, nobody's paying you for this. Like, man, fucking cheat at cards or cheat at sports or something like that. Like, make it worth your while. What are you getting out of this? Yeah, I don't understand the cheaters at all. I don't understand any cheaters in gaming. It's not even deplorable to me. Like, it is, but like, I feel sorry for them. Like, I feel like you needed a win in this so bad that you had to go out and buy a thing that makes you better at the game than everybody else, but you're not. Like, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. The mindset that takes is lunacy, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other thing he wanted to comment on was Outriders. Like I said, everybody, this is going to be a long fan interaction. Outriders, he had said that, like, basically, because we had said we didn't even know if they were updating it anymore or whatever. So he still follows them, although he's not playing it for obvious reasons. Basically, what happened is people can fly, cut it down to a skeleton crew working on that game because they're working on 6 other games for some reason. And the skeleton crew keeps putting stuff out, but every time they put stuff out, it breaks the game in another way. So, like, they'll put out a buff or a nerf, and then it'll just destroy the game because something else happens, or some other bug happens, or some other break happens. So, like, every time they fix it, they break it. And basically, he just kind of wanted to second that even though it kind of happened in different ways, it's become Anthem. Almost exactly. And he was like, the other thing was that he doesn't like is we didn't mean this way, but he wanted to kind of correct us, is he was like, they didn't fail. They had a great launch. It was one of the top selling ones for 2 months. They had a great beta. They just dropped the ball after that. They just dropped it so hard that the game just tanked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it needed to keep selling, and it needed to have a good tail, and it didn't. Like, it was number one selling for a while. And he's right. That's how Anthem was. Anthem was huge when it came out. People only remember the failure, but the failure came later, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was his comments. I got them in. I got everybody in. Like I said, guys, if you have the comments, make them. We will do our best to get to them. And if we miss 1 week in between, it's just recording schedule. Okay? Ready?
Okay.
To move on?
Sure.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our first talking point. We don't really have a first talking point. Here's how we're doing this. So basically, I'm going to give you guys the full story. And if you listen to the bonus of the last episode, and you listen to the upfront of the last episode, you listen to the last episode, period, you can tell that on a whole, I'm getting a little bit bummed out with gaming. Neil is too. I think I'm a little bit more bummed out with it than he is, but still.
I like bitching.
Right. I like bitching too. It's just, I like a little positivity in there, and there just hasn't been. So yeah. So I'm a little bit. So Neil actually was very nice. I want to give you credit where credit is due, my friend. He actually was like, hey, let's just do a positive show, which is completely impossible. You just listen to fan interaction, but if you have a gaming show, it's completely impossible to do a completely positive show unless you don't talk about gaming. But so we decided. I was like, you know what? I'm fine with that. I need a palate cleanser from all the negativity. So we're gonna have a little bit more fun, talk a little bit more hypothetical, not necessarily do a ton of news stuff, whatever. I definitely want to bring up the one that I wanted to bring up, which I want to discuss remakes and remasters that haven't happened yet that we want to see. That's what I definitely want to discuss. And then we can we'll have to take a break at some point in here and figure out what to call the next talking point, but it's basically going to be happy things until odds and ends, where I have a real unhappy thing that could have probably been a talking point, but we're not going to do that here.
No, we are barring negativity from this show.
No, we're barring negativity from the next two talking points. I have to talk about what's in odds and ends. There's no way I can avoid this. I found this out today, and it's going to make you real mad too. So, but that's in the future. That's in the future. Like I said, we're flanked by negativity.
Anger.
Right now, we're in the positive zone.
Best kind of anger.
We're in the positive zone. So remakes and remasters we want to see. I definitely have two right off the top of my head, but what do you got?
I got one right off the top.
All right, you go for it, man.
I actually have been the only real bit of gaming that I've been able to do lately is because of my Razer Kishi, and I installed the mobile version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night on my phone, which is compatible with the Kishi. And
you just
right
made my
off
day.
the top, that game, dude, it still holds.
It holds up.
Still holds.
That would be my only argument against remaking it. Is right now just about like I can go upstairs on my Xbox and play it on backwards compatibility, and I will have just as much fun as I did 20 fucking years ago when I played it for the first time.
I don't even want a remake.
Just
you know what I want?
it?
Just bump the graphics up. Make it look something like Bloodstained.
I didn't love Bloodstained. I hated Bloodstained.
Not the game as a whole. Just
bump up the
looked.
graphics. I see what you're saying.
Just how it looked. That right there. Like that's all I would need. Because I mean even the whole twist of, I guess, spoilers for a almost 30-year-old game at this point, having the actual right way to beat the game and going into the reverse castle.
Yeah.
Like, even that is just like, oh, well, it's the same thing, but upside down. No,
there's different bosses. There's different enemies.
Different bosses, different enemies.
Yeah.
There are some ways that the architecture of the regular version of the castle almost seemed like it was designed with the intent to be flipped upside down. Like
that game is a masterpiece. It's absolutely a masterpiece.
It absolutely is.
From start to finish, that game is a masterpiece. And I remember how many hours I put into that and just unlocking things, because that's another thing. Castlevania Symphony of the Night specifically is such an ahead of its time title, because not only does it have just this great base game, but it's got an end game. It's got an actual end game, because Dracula for that game is in no way the hardest boss. Not even close. There are way worse bosses in what would be considered the highest point, but actually the lowest point of the reverse castle, you know?
Yeah.
So like like with Dracula, like you could kill him or you could just avoid him and just like really dig into some exploration that you don't even have to do. Like that game that game is so good. There's just so much replayability in it. It's so great.
The only thing I've not managed to do with that game is not get hit by Dracula. Because if I remember correctly, there is a special ending of the game if you don't get hit.
If you boost your stuff up, if you kill all those other bad guys, I've actually seen the special ending, but if you boost all your stuff up, you can kill them in like 4 hits. Because you can get so over-leveled for it.
I did not play that game until college. I was late to it. But when I played it, the first time I played it, I actually broke it at the very beginning.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, no, it was like a fun break. So at the very beginning, when you meet Death, he takes all your shit.
Yep.
And that very first like ascension that you go up, there is at the very top, there's a candle that when you hit it, it always drops $50. and it's right by a door.
Oh,
So
nice.
you keep going in and out, hitting that. And I did that. I did that for like an hour straight. And I had enough when I got into the library. I bought the diamond plate way sooner than I was supposed to.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool, though. But, I mean, even with that break, there are so many things in that game that you can only find by grinding things out. There's this sword that I absolutely had to have, and the only way to get it, so like, you know when you first enter the castle after death, where you go through the 2 hallways?
Yeah.
In like the second hallway, right when you come in, there's this little stupid looking bird that's called a Dodo Bird.
Yeah.
And all it does is see you
And
scream and run away. And if it gets off screen, it's just gone, right?
Yeah.
If you kill that thing, it has like a 0.05% chance to drop this sword called a Rune Sword.
Okay.
It's the coolest fucking sword in the game. It's absolutely the coolest sword in the fucking game. It is this... So, like, it's one of those ghost swords that you don't swing, that just kind of swings around you.
Okay.
But it's gigantic. It takes up half the screen.
Oh, my God.
And so, like, I found out about it, and I just, like, ground this out for, like, an hour and a half. And, I mean, the chance is so low that you would ever get it. Hold on. I wanna see if I can't find an image of it online to show you. Rune Sword, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. It's just so cool, and that was one of the only ways to like get the thing. Let's see if I can't find an image of it being used in the game. Oh, it doesn't take up half the screen, but it's cool. It's huge. It's still pretty big. Let me save image. Download. And
there was a sword. There was a sword that I picked up. I actually wound up getting 2. I forget the name of the sword, but if you swing it, it does 3 quick swings.
Yeah.
So what I wound up doing is equipped one in my left and one in my right hand, and just walked in a straight line, just constantly dicing shit up.
Nice. I love the fact that game would allow you to like every weapon you got, you were just so excited to like, all right, check the.
Oh, okay.
You see it? Like, and that's how far out it goes. And you just press the attack, and it just swings and then comes back to you from your head. So it just kills everything in the screen, basically. But I love that, like, everything you got in the game changed the way... Like, for a platformer, for, like, a side-scrolling platformer, the amount of ways that you could attack or build your character out was kind of crazy. Did you ever get one of those, like, sliding stab swords that would just, like... I can't remember what it's called.
Sliding stab swords.
Yeah, you'd get them, and they were big, and all you do, you wouldn't attack like by like slashing or anything. When you hit the button, you just stab and slide forward. That's it. They were super fun too.
It sounds like it functions like a rapier or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Honestly, one of the things that I really like doing in that game is trying to just bounce off of enemies as much as I can, doing the down kick and just bouncing around the screen. Yeah. Just stupid shit like that. And like this game, like you said, it's an older game, but
it's very old.
It still holds up. And I feel like if they remade this thing, or even just that would be people would buy it all the times.
I just want to go ahead and say I would love to see a remake of 1, 2, and 3 as one game in the modern age.
Ooh, yeah.
Like if they remade it, like completely remade it from the ground up, gave it some cool like stuff, and just put all 3 together, and just like for the modern age graphics and everything, that would be take my money, Konami, seriously.
Man, it's almost like Konami should get together with somebody and make a Castlevania game.
You know, we promised to keep this part of the show positive, so if we keep talking about Konami, it's going to get negative real fast.
I'm positive that Konami should make a new Castlevania game.
Yeah, so am I. Among other games that they have, they should make. Yes, they should make games other than slot machines.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear one of mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, I'm gonna give you the normal one, then I'll give you the weird one later. The normal
Okay.
one is the one Mario game that has not been touched, that hasn't been remastered, that everybody loves, like loves, that would set the world on fire. If you saw this at a Nintendo Direct remastered or remade, you would get so fucking hype. And that's Mario RPG.
Oh man, that's a weird blank spot for me, and
Really?
it's sad. And what's dumb too, I just never got around to playing it because
Really?
I love the old school Paper Mario,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the Mario and Luigi games.
Yeah. So that's weird. Why wouldn't you like this is definitely the game for you.
Yeah, and like I have access to it with the Super Nintendo Classic too. So like I don't understand. Maybe I just never got around to doing it. I know there was one point that I tried to start playing it, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember trying to play it when I was but a wee lad when it first came out and didn't understand the concept of RPGs.
Right. I think that like one thing that's like graphically it doesn't hold up because Game Grumps have just started playing it and I've been watching that series and it's kind of hard to look at. Like you remember it looking a lot better than it did. At least I did. Um, but gameplay is really solid, like really solid. I would love to see that remade, and that is something that I don't understand why it went away. Other than the fact that I guess like SquareSoft did make it, so like it was actually like a weird partnership between SquareSoft and Nintendo. So I don't know that they can do another one without them, or that maybe they don't feel confident to do another one without them. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe they think they've got the role playing aspect covered with like Paper Mario, but Paper Mario isn't very good on the role playing side of things. So I don't know. I would love to see that remade or remastered.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to bring that into the modern era as well.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Do you have another one you can think of?
Not off the top right now.
Well, this is the subject. I don't want to just go. Can you think of it while I give you my other one?
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
all right. I want to see Bayou Billy, The Adventures of Bayou Billy, come back. I want a modern day remake of Bayou Billy. Do you know what that game
what?
is?
No.
Okay, so it's got a cult following. All right. I did not necessarily expect you to know about it, honestly. But okay, The Adventures of Bayou Billy is this crazy ass Nintendo game where it has like the first level is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, where you fight guys in the bayou. Like your girlfriend gets kidnapped by this evil dude, and basically you fight guys in the bayou. And you also fight alligators and falcons in the bayou that come after you. And you kind of look like Crocodile Dundee, but not. So it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up like that. Then when you get through the first level, it asks you to pick up a zapper. And it turns into a light gun shooter for a level. And then
Oh.
it turns back into a side-scrolling fighter in the bayou. Then it turns into a driving game, and you have to do 3 straight levels of driving. Then it turns back into a side-scrolling fighter. Then you do another zapper level. Then it finishes in side-scrolling fighter. And it was so crazy back in the day that because like at the beginning of every level it would tell you what you needed to play it. Like this part needs the controller. This part needs the zapper. But the problem with the game is that it is earth-shatteringly, impossibly difficult, like beyond hard to actually beat in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I would love to see that. I think that's a cool idea for a game. I think that you could even make it open world or something. The hero is really interesting. They'd have to play with the themes of the storyline, obviously, because it's a very 80s storyline where, like, there's a big boobed woman and she's kidnapped by this evil fat guy, and then the really ripped hero has to beat everybody up and rescue her. You know what I mean? So, like, they'd have to kind of play with that. But, like, I think just as a whole, the game is so creative and interesting that it just needs to make some sort of comeback into the modern era. Okay, we can't not talk for this amount of time. Did I lose you? Keep
Sorry.
talking. Keep talking.
Yeah,
Something's happening here.
Okay, yeah, you saw it now. You saw it now.
I wasn't on Discord, so like I'm like,
Sorry.
we can't not talk for this period of time, Neil.
I didn't. Yeah.
What
I didn't want to
happened?
interrupt you. So, long story short, my one cat is a dickhole.
Oh,
And
of course,
I've-
it's your pets.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about your pet.
Yeah. So he actually chased one of the other cats up into a cupboard down here. And there was fighting happening, and I had to go investigate because I heard banging against the wall. So, yeah, I got that all figured out, and yeah, I'm back.
Okay. All right.
Anyways,
Okay. So
But-
your reactions now to Bayou Billy would be nice.
yeah, that's bizarre.
It was.
I mean,
really
it was
bizarre.
it's a wild, like, back in the day, games were wild.
Yeah.
Like, they would take a chance on
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And that's how you get weird stuff like Smash Brothers. Like,
Yeah.
you would never consider, if Smash wasn't a thing at all, you would not consider at all, like, let's say Sega decided to do it first. It's like, oh, let's have the dude from Crazy Taxi fist fight Sonic the Hedgehog and call it a game.
Right.
Like, no. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Nintendo's just the one that got to it first, but now the idea of the crossover, I mean, Nickelodeon is doing it
Yeah.
with their
yeah.
cartoon characters and everything. You got, and it spawned other sort of games in that vein.
Right.
But, like, just jumping between genres like that, doing some craziness in that regard, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bizarre. And I feel like that the issues that we have with games, how they are when they come out now, it's all retreads, it's all the same thing. Games can get boiled down to like the same 5 genres, or it's a XYZ clone or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
It's like there's no real originality anymore. And when those games do come out, they hit, and they hit hard, and people are like, this thing is the greatest thing ever. And they
well,
get
there is
maybe
originality,
a
but it
year.
ends up being in like the stories or the characters because it's so
Right.
far along. It doesn't be like in the like how you play. You know what I mean? Because those have all been kind of discovered in a lot of ways.
Right.
But to your point though, Among Us did that recently, where it's like, holy crap, this is a whole new way to play a video game.
Right.
Yeah. All right, you got to give me one. You got to give me a remake or a remaster. I've done 2. You got to do 2.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
I think I have another one, and mine's a little
Okay.
bit more, I guess, abstract.
Really?
but
Yours is
it was-
more abstract
well-
than the Adventures of Bayou Billy.
Not that abstract, no. But it was a thing. It was a thing for a while, and that was, I've talked about it before on this show, Beautiful Joe. I would love a remake of Beautiful Joe. You get 1 and 2 in there, maybe tweak the story just a tiny bit so it doesn't tease 3, and call it a day. Maybe even throw Red Hot Rumble in there just for shits and giggles.
No,
Just
that's a good idea. That's definitely a game that I think had a cult following. I think people would be excited to see a remake or a remaster of that come their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'd be. I think that'd be a good, a surefire thing.
A surefire
Because
hit.
the surefire hit. I mean, they did. They've done Okami, which was another
Yeah.
Clover Studio game.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they haven't touched Beautiful Joe. They even did. It's wild because Beautiful Joe had like a cartoon. They They had spin-off games. Like the fact that they had a Saturday morning cartoon is what blew me away. It was on Fox, I think it was.
That
And
is crazy.
yeah, and then they had the game too. The first two games came out, and then I think it was Red Hot Rumble came out, and then the cartoon. And I think they had an idea for 3, but then Clover Studios got shut down when Capcom was just going balls to the wall, doing everything and anything under the sun, and that was one of the casualties.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. Still, like, somebody's got to own those rights. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously Okami came back, so somebody owns those rights. Why not, put it out? Especially nowadays when, like, there's not a lot of stuff coming out. This is the perfect time to, like, do remakes and remasters,
Right.
Especially like, and I know a lot of people get very, like, fatigued with the remakes and remasters, and I get that. I totally get that. But at the same time, there's so many of those old 8-bit games or 16-bit games that I was so into when I was a kid, but I go back to them and I'm like, this is not fun. It was fun when I was a kid, but at the same time, I still like the subject matter or the ideas behind the game. So I'd love to see it like reimagined. The thing is, I don't think we should ever get remakes or remasters for games coming out in this era. You know what I mean? Because we're at the height. We're at the height of where games are going to be technologically.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to get bigger and prettier. I'm sure they will. But, like, for the most part, they're going to be this way forever. They're at their level of complexity. That they're maxed out on complexity. So why not take all those games from the old modern day era that maybe didn't hit, maybe didn't go, and, like, put them into the modern era and give them that level of complexity, make them all that complex and see what happens with it,
Well, I think with, like, the remakes and remasters for stuff that's out right now, I think what you end up doing is doing kind of like they did with Skyrim and Doom and putting them in VR. I think that's going to be the next big thing. That said, I still think VR's a ways out from being, like, super viable. But
I was talking about this on my stream the other day. And, like, Danny from the channel, her boyfriend is super into VR. Like, he's so into VR that he's, like, a VR, can't remember what she called it. It's like a VR advocate or a VR instructor, some sort of, like, thing where he actually gets, like, free VR stuff because he's so into VR that a VR influencer, that's what he is. So, like, that's how into VR is. He loves it. So there are those fans, there's that fan base, but the real problem with VR, and I've been saying this for a while, is your brain does this thing. Your brain knows when you're moving forward via your feet. Okay? It just does. It's hardwired to know when your feet are moving, you should be going forward, and when your feet are not moving, you should not be moving. When you put all your senses, all the senses that allow you to know whether you should be moving or not, other than your feet, into this, like, tube, and then you start moving, and you're not moving your feet, that's what makes you sick, Yeah. And VR hasn't found a way around that other than, like, one of those, like, crazy 3D treadmills or something like that, or those really cool, like, VR, like, playroom mazes things, which is really cool too. It's just they haven't found a way to, like, fix the feet problem, and I don't know that you can. I think it's a biological thing in humans where we just know our feet aren't moving, so our brain eventually is going to be like, the things that are happening shouldn't be happening,
Yeah.
And my chair is fucking loud today.
Your chair is the third person on this podcast.
Should I have Mark do a new, like, title where it's like Old Man Gaming with or it would be like a horrible game podcast presented by Old Man Gaming and a tiny wizard and the chair.
Sponsored by WD-40.
Sponsored by WD-40. Third podcast, Squeaky Chair. What's up, Squeaky Chair?
It's not. Did it squeak?
It did squeak, but I don't know.
The noise cancellation must have caught it on my end.
It might have. I don't know if it caught it on the mic either. But just know it was supposed to squeak there, guys. That was the bit. You
know, one other thing that I'm surprised that we haven't got a remaster. Well, not a remaster. I think it's more so of a collection. I guess would kind of fall into this generation. We have not gotten a collection of the Sonic games or the Sega Genesis collection.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Granted, I think it's backwards compatible on 360.
It's something like that. I mean, I'm sure, like, you can get your hands on it, definitely, but wouldn't it be nice to have, like, a 3D version of it? Or like, not even a 3D version of it, but, like a modernized version of it?
Well, you know, Sonic Generations was almost that. Sonic Generations was so close to that. Oh man, that was a missed opportunity, and it's sad. Like, the first section of the game is the old games redone in one act 3D, one act is like 2D but 3D models.
Right.
And then then they go into like Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Heroes, and it's like, okay, this is okay, I can deal with this. And then it goes into Sonic Unleashed, Sonic 06, Sonic Colors wasn't bad. But yeah, I wanted remakes of levels from 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles.
Yeah, I get that. I really want somebody to give me money to make a new 3D Sonic game, because I think I could make one that people would love. I really do. Like, just a big open world one where you can move as fast as possible, and then the combat would be like as you ran really fast, you'd build up action points. That action point would allow you to do like a bullet time, and when you did the bullet time, you could then like pinpoint where you were gonna like strike, like and the amount of times you could hit something or bounce off something would be based on the action points you built up by running, and then you could just let go of that bullet time and just watch him just like dart around the screen. I think it would be so fucking cool. Cool. So fucking cool. And then you could even add in that he could like have companions with him, and they would just be running around, so it would look like some crazy DBZ fight, like and it would still make you feel fast, even though you could slow it down to do what you wanted to do, you know?
You know what I want? I want a Sonic 06 port.
I thought you wanted to keep the show positive.
I have said this before. I will attest to this. I will scream this from the rooftops. That game is objectively bad. It is one of the best Sonic games I've ever played because it is so bad. Oh my god, it was so fun. I don't have my copy anymore, unfortunately. I need to get another copy of it. But yeah, that's something that needs ported. Weirdly, because now this has turned into Sonic Cast. The Sonic Colors got its HD
people really liking
port.
it.
Yeah, it was good when it came out back in the day. I played through it and beat it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I almost want to pick up this remake, but I don't think it's a full release sort of situation. That's a one that goes on sale for $20 situation for me.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like, I got $20 sitting on stream right now. I don't know if I'm willing to also spend $30 and that to get Sonic Colors.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a $20 game, okay, all right, I'll buy into that. But all right, well, we're at 52 minutes. Do you want to wrap up this segment? You know what? Let's just go to odds and ends. And if the shore's a little short, shore's a little short. I did not say any of those words right. I hope everybody know what I meant.
He's having a stroke.
Yeah, it's called adulthood.
Yes. All right, let's just slide right into odds and ends, because we've already discussed that we got one each. So
yeah, I'm starting to wonder if our odds and ends is the same. But all right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Okay, so that brings us to our final segment, and that is odds and ends. These are usually smaller stories that we don't think deserve a talking point, though mine definitely did. But we'll get into it. Yeah, we just want to tell you guys about, riff on a little bit, make everybody aware of. Neil only has one now because Kev stole one. This is Secretary of Defense for the win on that one. But Neil wants to do his positive one first, and then we're all gonna get real sad. So take it away, Neil.
Yeah, so Microsoft is doing a promotion right now that is very interesting. It will let you win Game Pass Ultimate for life. Moreover, if you win, you actually get an engraved membership card.
How do you win?
So according to the article that I read, you spend your Game Pass for your daily login points, whatever. For 200 points each, you get an entry in, and if you win, you get it.
Oh, so it's like a sweepstakes almost.
Yeah, it's like a sweepstakes sort of thing. But yeah, you
that's
get
really
the card.
Cool. I'm gonna save my
like
points for free Games Pass, but that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. I think it's cool.
Honestly, is really cool.
There's a weird part of me that just kind of wants the card anyways.
Yeah, yeah, right. I always like that chintzy stuff. I always kind of like, ooh, I kind of want that, Xbox mini fridge, yeah. And then I'm like, wait, I'm being
I
dumb
definitely
right now.
I definitely want the Series X mini fridge. That is 100%.
If I wasn't so mad at Xbox and PlayStation right now, I might. You know what I would want? I wish they'd make mini fridges out of like the classic Xbox designs. Like if I could get a mini fridge that looked like an OG Xbox, then like take my money. Take all of it.
Ooh, you know what would be a good one? A good console to turn into a fridge?
What?
A GameCube.
Oh, yeah, it would. It really would.
Yeah.
Because it's a cube. That would be a good one. That'd be a good one. I'd be down for that. All right, so you ready to get into the negativity?
Okay, let's do the negative.
All right, so Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, son of a bitch. I was really hoping that this wasn't the one. I was really hoping that this wasn't the one.
I knew
because I was on a rant about this earlier. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, go ahead.
So they have announced the differences between their pre-order bonuses. Being the standard edition $59.99 and then the big badass edition, which is $80. And guess what, motherfuckers? If you want to play this backwards compatibility on both systems, you gotta pay extra. You gotta pay the $80. On top of that, and they had said that they weren't going to do this. I want to point this out. They said they weren't going to do this, and they're doing it anyway. Second of all, and this is the one that really fucked me up, the photo mode is locked into the premium version.
Wait, I didn't hear that part.
You didn't see that. Well, here's the thing. It's not 100% confirmed, but if you look at like the bonuses or whatever, I think it's on stream, like the differences between each. The standard version says you get the game. Then the premium version, which is the $80 one, has all this list of things, right? The last one on the list says photo mode unlocks.
Oh.
So, like, it's not confirmed, but to me, that's what that is, right? Like, that can't mean anything else.
You know, I think we all kind of knew that this was coming.
I don't know, man.
No, the floodgates have opened. We talked about this before.
Yeah, I mean, we have on many different things, even Halo.
The second they did it with, what was it, NBA 2K something or other, with the Mamba edition, the Black Mamba edition for Kobe Bryant, that whole thing, when they did that to where you had to buy the most expensive version of it to be able to do the backwards compatibility and have the upgrade path, it was done. It was done because they didn't get like super backlash from it. So that locks us into
And that's
$70
the problem.
games, and that locks us into them offering this. You won't. It is going to be astounding to me to see anybody offer free unless they have already released the game and promised it.
Well, I
To
do want to
see-
say, not to jump on Xbox's bandwagon because they've done plenty wrong lately. All their shit's backwards compatible and
Well,
forwards
yeah.
compatible. So, I mean, this is kind of stupid, if you ask me. But also evil, and also they're doing it because we allowed it. You know?
Right. And that's kind of what I was getting to.
Yeah,
is
sorry,
the
I didn't mean to
fact,
interrupt.
No, you're fine. That's the thing is we didn't bitch about it enough when it happened before. We didn't bitch about it enough when Remedy did it with Control. We didn't bitch enough about it whenever it was done with the NBA. I'm sure there's been what was it, Call of Duty? We didn't bitch enough because you had to buy the upgrade if you got it. At least they offered it to you, but still, yeah. Happy show, yay.
Yeah, I was trying to find the picture for you. Somebody actually pointed it out on Twitter that the photo mode was locked. The photo mode being locked is really, for me, the like kick to the crotch. Like,
I mean,
what are you doing there? Like, the photo mode is locked behind fucking premium now? We're locking a photo mode behind premium access.
And
that's the world we live in.
I have never once used / had a desire to use a photo mode in a game. I mean, that's just me. I know they're popular because people ask for them as a feature, but to lock it behind a paywall, essentially, here's where it starts. Next generation, it's like, well, if you want to be able to reload your weapons in a game, you got to buy this extra version that costs $3. And there's going to be a single-player only version of a game come out for $10 more. You get the multiplayer version that allows you to actually play online on multiplayer. But if you change your mind and want to have friends to play with, you can buy a multiplayer pass for $20 later on.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And it's one of the problems that I have. One of the biggest problems why I have so much issue with what Halo's doing, you know, cutting it into shreds, like chopping it in. Here it is. Found the picture. Hold on, save image as OMG, and then I'm gonna just quickly send that to you via Discord because this is a feature we use now. There you go. Nope. That's not what I wanted to send you.
Nope.
That's not at all what I wanted to send
you. You only sent me the data.
Data spread. Have fun with that data. Yeah. I can't remember what I saved it as is the problem. I should have made it a name. I know
the beautiful string of numbers and letters right there.
Right. I'm really winning right now. I bet you I didn't even save it right. I'm going to have to do it again. People are loving this audio right now. We're ahead of time anyway. We could just.
I wonder if I can put this into
a terrible talk?
No.
Here you go. Okay, so if you open that picture and you look at the center one and you look at the very last thing, photo mode unlocks.
Oh my god.
Yep. Yippers. Yeah, so just gonna say this now. I'm gonna be boycotting that game too. Just right off the bat. I'm gonna be boycotting a lot of games I feel like coming up, but somebody's got to say no. I'm saying no. I don't like this. I don't like the photo mode is locked behind it. Like, what the fuck? Behind a deluxe edition. That's what bothers me too, is that the whole point of a deluxe edition is you're getting extra because you're paying more. Not you're getting the game for paying more. You're getting extra. So in a way, I would be less bothered by the Horizon 4 not being backwards or forwards compatible than the photo mode, because the photo mode is part of the base game. It is a feature that is part of the base game. That was part of the base original game that they have put in the deluxe edition. Like, the problem with this is they're not saying like we're making you pay for that. We're locking that behind something. We're sorry about that. They're saying you get it. It's a bonus. It's a bonus to have the full game if you pay extra. You know, like that mentality is like them taking things that you should have anyway and telling you that it's extra. That really, really, really bothers me. So I won't be playing that game.
You know what else I didn't see either? Granted, I think that this would be a separate announcement, but usually with these sort of things, when there's a deluxe edition, they make mention of DLC.
Right.
So, unless they do not have DLC planned, which I find that very hard to believe. And they just decide that later they're going to say, oh, and if you bought the deluxe edition, you get the DLC well.
They're going to sell you that season pass.
It's not on there. Because I remember that was an issue that I had with Doom Eternal. I got the deluxe edition of Doom Eternal. It was the $85 version of the game that came with all these different things.
Yeah.
And they were very unclear as to whether or not you would get the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they did eventually say, yeah, you are going to get the DLC. So, I mean, Horizon could be doing the same thing in this way here, but it makes me nervous.
You know, it really bothers me because, like, when I first started this podcast way back in the day, I hated Nintendo because Nintendo was the most money-grubbing evil company out there. And, like, I had tons of them, you know, sold cardboard to kids. Everybody remembers that constant rant that I keep bringing back up. But at this point, at least Nintendo gives you a full fucking game. You know, when they release it for the same price that it's been, they don't try and jack it up on you or sell it for parts to you or some other ridiculous scheme that they have on. They just like, here's a game, buy the game if you want. Here's DLC, you got to pay for the DLC. Like, at least they're upfront about it. I am so tired of this. And I saw that like right before we started going, and I was like, well, there goes the positivity of the show. Like, it's just, I'm going to be boycotting that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I might be boycotting a lot of AAA games at this point because I'm just not willing to deal with this anymore. Like, I'm just not willing to spend my money on this anymore. So Horizon Forbidden West was something I was very excited for. I am no longer excited for it. I don't even think I'm going to be playing it. I don't even think I'm going to be purchasing it. It's probably off my list because of it. So, no, you know what? Fuck that. I'm boycotting it. 100% not playing for Horizon Forbidden West. Not going to do it. It's out. Out of there. Done. I'm not playing with these games anymore. And I'm just one guy. I get that, but I'm just sick of this stuff. I'm so sick of these stories. And they just keep getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, our positive show ends on that note.
Yay. Well,
Happy.
I mean, I didn't realistically think that we would be able to get through an entire show without bitching, but
the only way we could get through an entire show without bitching is if we did that one Lost episode where we just like...
Oh, the Lost episode.
We just fucking talked about our experiences with old school gaming and didn't talk about anything else.
So good, too.
It was.
It came out great, and you guys are never gonna fucking hear it.
Well, it doesn't exist. Yeah. It only existed in the form of you hearing my side of the conversation. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
You could not hear Neil, so it doesn't exist. But, yeah, I think that, like, that's the only way we could have a truly positive show. But honestly, even with that, fan interaction is going to come up negative at some point. Not saying anything about our wonderful viewers. I'm not saying anything. But they're going to point stuff out that is shitty, and we're going to have to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
There's just no other way around it. It's because gaming right now sucks. It absolutely sucks. It sucks, the big one. And as long as it does, we're going to have to keep talking about negativity as long as we're doing this podcast.
Unfortunately.
Yappers.
It's all right. It's all right. Like I said,
Bang the fucking drum, man.
We had our positive one this week, and next week it's going to be back to the same old bitching and whining and complaining.
Yeah. Not that this one didn't have plenty of bitching and whining and complaining.
I had far less. It was
what, though?
It was 70% less bitch.
I will say I feel a little bit better that I have said on air I'm not getting these games. I do. I feel like I've at least contributed to a solution. Even if I haven't, I still feel like I've done something. So,
well, unfortunately, your actions are outweighed by me still being a part of the problem.
Oh, I'm sure. And it's not just you. I'm not even trying to insult you. Like that's not what I'm doing here. I don't put my choices on other people. I never will. I'm never going to. I'm never going to force people to make the same decisions I make. I'm just saying for me in this moment, I can no longer purchase these games consciously. And I think that if anybody out there really, really, really wants this to stop, the only way to do that is to not give them money. Should you choose to give them money, though, I'm not going to have problems with you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have problems with anybody. I just saying, overall, I think that's the way it's got to be. I've got to in some way make myself like it's just on me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can be part of the problem, and I can think you're part of the problem without me necessarily judging you for it. I guess.
Right.
If that sentence makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because I know full well wherein you are making the conscious decision to not be a part of the problem and like to know that, yeah, you are one person. It affects change, but not like all the change in the world. I know full well as well that I am one person of a very large group of people who is still a part of the problem.
Well, and that's the truth. I mean,
yeah.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. And at least like when it sucks, I can say at the end, this is why I didn't play it. You know what I mean? Like, one of the things about it being a personal decision is I'm so sick of hating myself for playing these games. You know, like Marvel's Avengers. I talked about it last week. You know, I heard all the things. I played the beta. I still bought that game, and I regretted every second of it. And like that kind of thing is like, personally, like I just don't want to regret that decision anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm definitely sick of going to my wife and saying that $60 game I paid money for, that paid money from us to get, sucked, and I'm never going to play it again. You know, like I'm sick of saying that. So like that's one of the reasons I want to do it is I don't want to make these bad decisions anymore. I know I'm going to love Back 4 Blood. I played the beta. I love the beta. I'm going to enjoy that game regardless of what the internet says. So I'm excited to play that. I would spend money on it if it wasn't already going into Games Pass. But it is. So that's where I'm going to get it. But yeah, like I'm only going to play games that I know I'm going to love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that aren't going to make me mad. And this kind of behavior from game companies is just, it's at a critical mass for me. For me personally, it's at a critical mass. I do want to say, I'm not judging anybody for buying video games. Because video games is a hobby. It's meant to be fun for you. Like, so, like, if you're playing a game, like, unless you're a Twitch streamer or somebody does it professionally, like, if you're playing a game, you're doing it for fun. And if you're having fun, that's the point. That's it. That's the point. If you're playing a game and you're like, this is great, then be happy with your decision, you know? Like don't... Personally, though, I'm sick of this shit, and I'm not going to let this happen anymore. And I do think that anybody out there who is saying to themselves, man, I want this to change. Well, if you want it to change, you have to stop giving them money. Because as long as we keep giving them money, it's not, you know?
Right.
Like, that's the truth. I mean, and I'm sure people will, but that like, 1 + 1 = 2, you know? All right. So, well, that's it for odds and ends then, right?
Yes, it is.
Let's wrap this bad boy up.
Alrighty.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, I know you got something to want to talk about, so hit us.
Yes. So, as stated, I went up on our Discord and set up a little text channel for Halo Infinite War. And if you like Halo and want to play Halo with us, that's the place that you go to get all set up for that. So, it is under the text channels, Halo Infinite War. I am requesting whoever wants to play your gamer tag. I need those by Thursday, September 9th, so I can get everything all set up. We're aiming to be playing on September 11th, somewhere around 10 o'clock Eastern. Chances are we'll start getting set up at about 9:30. That way we can get everybody all in and whatnot. So if you want to play Halo with us, go on ahead, drop your gamer tag in there, and we'll get it all set up, and we can have lots of stupid fun.
It is going to be Halo 3, correct?
Yes, I saw that was a question that was asked. It is going to be Halo 3. We didn't do it like we normally, like we've done it in the past, to where the second pretty much that we finish our Halo Infinite Road season, that we do the Halo Infinite War. We kind of pushed it off because of life, and and Halo 3 ODST only has firefight anyways. Right. So
which me and Neil are probably going to do a couple of games.
Yeah, we're probably going to do some of that. And then side plug off of that, we are pretty close to finishing that, I assume. Well, Halo Noir.
I mean, technically we got another, we got 2 more episodes going up on Halo Noir, and then we haven't actually finished the campaign yet. So I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you and I will be finishing soon-ish, but yeah, we still got a couple weeks to go.
Well, and I realized why the game, I don't remember if we talked about this or not, but I realized why the game looks smaller on the mission screen than it does in the actual play. And I'm not saying that it isn't smaller, but whenever you go back to that open world that you wander through, that's not actually part of a mission. So if you select a mission, it's just like what you play as a person in the past, and then it takes you to that big screen between the mass open world between, which is kind of used to pad it out. So that's actually why it looks, I think, a little bit smaller on the screen than it is. But all right. Well, guys, if you want to get in on that, check out our Discord, check out our threads. If you aren't on Discord and want to contact us and get in on it, you can. You can contact me on Facebook at Old Man Gaming DH. You can also contact us on Twitter at Old Man Gaming 9. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the description below. You can influence this in all of our shows and get in on Halo Infinite War. As far as my plugs, I do want to give a kind of a special kind of side plug. I am also streaming on Twitch now, so if you want to check that out, please do. There is no scheduled streams on it. All the scheduled streams are still on YouTube. My lunch stream, which is a point of some anger today, but my lunch stream and my Streets of Rage stream will still be on YouTube weekly, but whenever I have free time and feel like going live, I'm going to do it on Twitch through the Old Man Gaming thing. So please check us out there, because every stream I do, I also do these cool little highlight videos. So if you don't want to watch a full stream, you can just click over to videos and you can see every cool little thing I did in the stream in 3 to 8 minute videos separately. So check those out, please do, and give us a follow on there. As far as that's it. That's the end of the show, guys. As long as you keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next week. All right, we're done, man.
All right, that's perfect timing, because I have to take a very angry shit.
It's going to be real hard not to put that in the episode.
That's fine.
All right, we'll go pooper. And I'll talk to you later, man.
Alrighty. Yeah, believe me, I want to go into the negative stuff. The Halo Battle Pass shit. You see about that?
Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I
Oh my
did.
god, I I was just coming around. I was just coming around to like, you know what? Maybe I actually would get the battle pass because I know that's something
Yep.
I would play.
Yep.
And then you're not gonna get any sort of. And what really really confuses the ever living shit out of me with that? You remember back when it was supposed to come out last year,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the monster promotion.
Yep.
They had the monster promotion. You stack all these points, and you can activate double XP.
Yep.
Well, the XP is through just doing actions.
Right.
So, like, what the fuck does that even mean anymore?
Right. Right. It's train wreck.
I have always hated shit like that. Doing one thing over and over. In Halo 4, it was one of the armor pieces that you can get. You get it through gameplay, the armor pieces, for the most part in Halo 4. One of them is the Ventator helmet, and it's nice. I love that thing. But to get it, you have to get so many assassinations in a match. So I would have to go in with the sole purpose, knowing full well that I was not trying to kill anybody by any other way other than assassination.
Right.
And it just sucks the fucking fun out of everything. They're like, oh, some of the challenges will be just to win. It's like, that's fucking stupid. You can't get anything for just playing?
Right. Like,
I gave you my money. And you're still dicking me around.
That's how battle passes should be, just experience based. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, it's total. And what bothers me is every time these game companies come out with something that like we're okay with, they immediately are like, okay, they're okay with this. How far can we push it? How far can we push it until they hate it? You know, like Battle Pass was like, all right, we're okay with Battle Pass. That's a little bit better than microtransactions. And now it's like the companies are pushing the Battle Passes to the point where it's like, you're gonna make us hate that too. You know,
the Battle Pass that is on a timer, I hate. That whole idea of, okay, so you give us $15 and you got to make sure that you play this game this amount of time throughout the course of the month, or you just threw that money away.
Yeah.
You can give us $15 again to try to do it, but if you don't get to play enough and you don't get to do the things that shit is stupid. And then they prey on you mentally with FOMO with that shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the topic.
Happy things.
Yeah.
Good and happy things.
Sure. I only have one odds and end today, by the way.
Well, I only have one now, too. So